The battle to retake Port Patterson is about to begin. Our scattered forces have come together for this battle. They're few in number, but we've managed to assemble a small ground force. However, the LASAF fleet continues to gather in Port Patterson, and the presence of the Transportation Corps has also been confirmed. Having lost Puna Base, it appears LASAF now intends to shuttle in troops and supplies overseas. If any more ships dock at Port Patterson, enemy strength will become more than our ground troops can handle. In order to prevent this, we need you to launch a preliminary strike on Port Patterson. Destroy all enemy supply vessels, landing ships, and freighters. In particular, try to keep as many enemy landing ships from entering the port as possible. Battle supplies must not reach the enemy. The number of enemy landing ships inside the port will be displayed on the MPG in the upper right-hand corner of your HUD. If the MPG reaches the max level, our forces will no longer be able to retake Port Patterson. This time, a substantial enemy counterattack is to be expected. It seems the loss of Puna Base has put them on guard. Please be careful.
Griffith 1, you are cleared for takeoff. Griffith 1, altitude restrictions canceled. Return to your mission. Good luck. To Griffith 1. Check your MPG on the right side of the HUD. The MPG will display the number of landing ships from the port. Please pay careful attention to the MPG during this mission. So, you're Griffith 1, huh? I'm Major Berkman, Ground Force Commander. There are landing ships within the enemy fleet. We'll lose the battle, but Ellie is allowed to make it ashore. Do not allow more than 3 landing ships to enter the port. We'll be risking our necks out here with you. Let's take back Port Patterson. Huh? Wait, I got something on radar. Put the city on high alert. I don't want to see so much as a kitten out on those streets. Just make sure that bridge is raised.
Altitude is too low.
We've succeeded in destroying the enemy fleet gathered in Port Patterson. Our ground troops scored a major victory by using the chaos caused by our attack to storm in and secure the port. We freed Port Patterson from the hands of the enemy. It's still kind of hard to believe.
The emblem of the Southern Cross. It was on that very day that the aircraft bearing the mark of the Southern Hemisphere brought about the defeat of Laysath forces. But the story barely made the news, and the army showed no apparent reaction. Almost nightly, Laysath's commanding officer, Diego Gaspar Navarro, plays host to grand banquets within Gaius Tower. This evening, he is once again proudly trumpeting the glory of his airborne fortress. I've heard the speech so many times, it feels like I wrote it. Which, in a way, is a good thing, because it lets me concentrate on enjoying the food instead. As I gazed out the window at the night sky, I felt as if even the phases of the moon were somehow at odds with those of the Northern Hemisphere. The words of a fellow reporter, who fancied himself a connoisseur of fine wine, really got me thinking about the price of the glass of wine in my hand. One glass of it is roughly equivalent to several years of a Laysathian citizen's salary. Haven't the long years of civil war left Laysath an impoverished and war-torn nation? Whatever the case, much is unclear about the flow of money in Laysath. Ever since I arrived here, I've only covered stories the military had approved. However, this particular mystery just might be worth investigating on my own. The idea was nothing more than the product of an idle mind. At least at the time.
Okay, let's get started with a report of the situation. I think our best option under the circumstances would be to head towards Santa Elva. Santa Elva is a strategic location that we have to pass through to get to the capital, Griswold. However, there are several other strategic points on the way to Santa Elva. Which points you choose and in what order you do so is up to you. It looks like your decisions will affect the course of this battle. I know it's an immense responsibility, but there's no one else to count on. We're relying on you to get us through this. It appears that the enemy's Miller unit is gathering at Kings Hill. It looks like they're trying to take back Port Patterson. I wonder what they're up to. Next, we have reports that the Allied Davis unit is cut off at Stand Canyon. Gleipnir took off from Puna Base and is currently standing by at Terminus Island. With the long strike range of the Gleipnir, there's not much our forces can do. It appears that the enemy is moving towards Stand Canyon to eliminate our remaining forces. We'll need those remaining forces in our attack on Santa Elva, so I think we should probably send help. If left alone, they'll be helpless against the aerial fortress, just like what happened to us at Cape Aubrey. Also, Santa Elva is a key location for the enemy, and I think they'll concentrate their forces there. We'll have major problems if they send in their aerial fortress. I'll give you more details once you decide on a route. Please tell me which route you plan to take. The Gleipnir is now positioned above Terminus Island. It is using the island as a resupply base and as a staging point for long-range attacks on Stand Canyon. The troops stranded at Stand Canyon are vital to the upcoming assault on Santa Elva. But they're pinned down as long as the Gleipnir's assault is allowed to continue. Something must be done about the situation, and soon. Analysis of the SWBM attack at Cape Aubrey has shown that the shockwave of the missile dissipates before reaching ground level. Hoping to utilize this weakness, the remaining Aurelian fleet has gathered for a counter-assault on the airborne fortress. We have been informed that the assault will begin as soon as we are ready. How shall we proceed, sir?
Griffith 1, you are cleared for takeoff. Griffith 1, you are cleared for takeoff. Griffith 1, altitude restrictions canceled. Return to your mission. Good luck.
First Fleet to Third Fleet. Any sign of the Gleipnir?
Third Fleet, no sign of it yet.
Understood. Continue your patrol of the area. What's that sound?
Look! It's the Gleipnir!
Get out there! Attack! Target the Gleipnir!
Commence cannon fire!
distance. Look! The disc on the bottom is starting to move! What's he The ship's under the Gleipnir just disintegrated! What the hell was that? Second Fleet, do you read me? This is the First Fleet! Come in! Come in!
All of those ships destroyed in an instant. Such destructive power. I can't believe they've made such a terrifying weapon. Sir, Griffith 1. It appears the enemy has some kind of new super weapon. If they destroy the rest of our fleet, we'll no longer be able to sustain our military. The MPG will display damage to the Allied fleet. Protect them and keep the gauge from reaching max. I know it's a dangerous mission. We're counting on you, sir. Push it up! Fly faster! All right, Griffith 1! All of those ships destroyed in an instant. Such destructive power. I can't believe they've made such a terrifying weapon. Sir, Griffith 1. It appears the enemy has some kind of new super weapon. If they destroy the rest of our fleet, we'll no longer be able to sustain our military. The MPG will display damage to the Allied fleet. Protect them and keep the gauge from reaching max. I know it's a dangerous mission. We're counting on you, sir. All right, I got it! seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, impact! Missile launched. Estimated time to impact, 15 seconds. Estimated time to impact, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, impact! Missile launched. Great job! The airborne fortress's SWBM has gone up in flames. Raise the engine output to max. We've got to escape. Estimated time to impact, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, impact! Airborne fortress is rapidly ascending. We can't follow. It's unfortunate we weren't able to destroy the Gleipnir. However, this was a very important turn of events for us.
We've succeeded in destroying the Gleipnir's SWBM. The surrounding area is no longer in any danger. Unfortunately, the Gleipnir escaped, but this victory has given us hope. I'm starting to feel like retaking Santa Elva is fastly becoming a reality. We have an emergency situation. The Miller unit has moved from Kings Hill for an assault on Port Patterson. They reclaim the city almost immediately. We've also confirmed the transport of supplies from the port to Santa Elva via Kings Hill. I had no idea this was in their plan. Sorry about that. On with the update. The Gleipnir has withdrawn from the combat zone and is now in Santa Elva. Furthermore, with the destruction of the Gleipnir's SWBM, long-range assaults are no longer a threat. Allied ground forces are stranded at Stan Canyon. They are members of the Davis Unit, who were en route to an assault on Santa Elva when they were cut off from the main force. The troops have already been surrounded by enemy forces and are taking heavy fire. There's no time to lose. With the threat of a long-range enemy attack past, an Allied air unit was deployed for rescue, but it doesn't look like the troops can hold out much longer. Try to hold back enemy forces until the rescue unit arrives. I believe it's our duty to protect the Davis unit.
Casualties to the Davis unit will be displayed on your MPG. The Davis unit will be defeated when the gauge reaches max. This is the Davis unit. Are you our backup? Wow, that's a pretty small squadron. We've almost lost her. They've surrounded our position. We won't last much longer. Don't give up. We'll get you out of that mess. The Davis unit is being cut to pieces inside the canyon. Please, hurry! Keep the enemy attack helicopters away from the Allied ground forces. They don't stand a chance against the enemy's anti-tank missiles. Enemy aircraft sighted. Likely, they're back up for the ground forces. Warning! Davis unit casualties at 25%. facility. It looks like they've made their base on the ruins. By flying through the canyon. Sorry to keep you waiting. This is the Griffith Squadron. We'll leave the extraction up to you. The Davis unit has somehow managed to make it through. Understood. We'll take it from here. Clock to Griffith 1. The Milvis Squadron has arrived, and enemy forces are withdrawing. The mission was a success.
It appears that a rescue unit has successfully extracted the stranded Davis unit. Although the unit has suffered terrible losses, thankfully, they've been saved from complete annihilation. Intelligence reports that Laseth forces are airlifting munitions from Port Patterson to Santa Elva. We think the munitions are for the airborne fortress Gleipnir. At this moment, there is no information on the enemy transport corps formation. Regardless, the mission will be considered a failure if even one of the enemy transport planes escapes out of the combat zone. Destroying all transport planes before that happens will be the main focus of this mission. How do you want to proceed, sir? Port Patterson has been taken by enemy forces, and our supply route cut off. There isn't enough fuel to support an extended mission, so make it quick.
Something's wrong. Griffith 1, does something seem amiss? There are just too many transport aircraft. Decoy aircraft are probably mixed in with the formation. We can't confirm which one is the target. Try to find the real one and shoot it down. Enemy aircraft. Was there a leak? That's what the decoy aircraft are for. Only one shipment needs to get through. Keep us protected. We got Titan cargo on board. Decoy aircraft hit. There's nothing we can do. Delivering the cargo is our top priority. The target will get away if you don't focus your attacks. It's likely that there is only one target transport in each formation. Take a good look. Is there anything different? Perhaps in the way they fly? Help me! He's right behind me! I can't get him off me! Secured the down transport. It looks like you got the real target. We'll carry on from here. What are you doing? Increase your altitude. Escape while the enemy's busy with the decoys. Can't we fly any higher? There are too many of them. Which one is the real thing? Heavy cargo will make it difficult for a transport to maintain a steady altitude. Look in the formation for an aircraft with a lower altitude and take it out. That's the wrong target! The cargo's too heavy. We can't gain altitude. It's the enemy. Increase speed and shake him. All right, I dodged it. Another shipment's been hit. They're over there. Fire! All right, one down. Escort aircraft, get off of us! We lose everything if this plane goes down. Enemy shipment destroyed. The mission was a success.
We've succeeded in shooting down all enemy transport aircraft bound for Santa Elva. This should prevent the enemy from gaining any new ground for a while. Future missions are sure to be less dangerous thanks to your efforts. Let's hope this victory helps make our future battles a little easier, too. LASAF's Miller unit has taken control of Port Patterson. Your mission is to take it back. Reports say that the enemy unit swooped in on Port Patterson from Kings Hill, completely overtaking our forces stationed there. We should have paid more attention to the enemy's movements. This position must be retaken as soon as possible. Port Patterson is an important refueling station. Without access to fuel, our forces won't be able to carry on the battle much longer. Intelligence confirms that the Miller unit plans to use the port complex to shield themselves from our attack. We need to clear them out, but attacking with indiscretion will only result in damage to the facilities. Without the facilities intact, Port Patterson is useless. Use utmost discretion in capturing the port.
Estimated damage to the port complex will be displayed on your MPG. Aim your attacks carefully. We want to avoid damaging the complex where possible. He's here. That Southern Cross fighter. We'll be safe as long as we stay hidden within the complex. This time he's mine. Come on. Shoot if you think you're good enough to hit me. If this base is destroyed, it's yours.
What's going on? The complex isn't shielding us from him.
Keep it together. Shoot him down. Enemy up ahead. I see them. Moving to intercept. Pistol down. This is the Miller Unit 3rd Artillery Division. We're proceeding to Port Patterson as planned. He attacks by weaving his way through openings in the complex. There's no point in trying to hide. Unbelievable! His aim is amazing! I didn't know we still had that kind of pilot left. This is the 3rd Artillery Division! We are en route for the complex! Just hold on a little longer!
Special weapon fire running low. No special weapon fire remains. Stand by, Captain.
He's shooting up everything! Doesn't he care that the city's going to end up a sea of fire? He's just bluffing! Hold your position! Damn it, I can't hit him. I missed! He's coming this way! Hurry up and get here! He's coming up from behind you! Evade!
We've succeeded in ousting the Miller unit hiding within the port complex and have once again taken control of Port Patterson. This should also relieve some of the stress on our fuel reserves. Luckily, the city survived the assault with surprisingly little damage. Still, the ferocity of the enemy counterattack was completely unexpected. The enemy can take back a point as soon as you turn your back. We'll have to be more cautious of the enemy's strategy from now on. I'll now go over the details of our mission to retake Santa Elva, a city vital to the enemy's transportation network. If we succeed in retaking the city, our capital Griswold will be within reach. It seems that the damage the Gleipnir bore from our attack over Terminus Island is now being repaired here in Santa Elva. The previous battle was proof enough of the ability of individual fighters to effectively strike at the Gleipnir, so all ground forces that run the risk of becoming a target will hold their position here. Enemy ground forces are most likely prepared for any kind of assault, but with the Gleipnir unable to fly, now is the time to strike. Even the Gleipnir wouldn't risk killing their own troops stationed at the base by firing the short-range cannon. It looks like there's no escape for them this time, sir.
the radar! The enemy! The Southern Cross is here! They're here already. Prepare the airborne fortress for takeoff! Are you crazy? Repairs aren't finished! The optical camouflage isn't working yet! I don't care. Prepare her for takeoff! One Aurelian fighter is hardly a threat. If that's our orders, I won't take responsibility if anything should happen. What's wrong? You aren't gaining altitude! Thrust isn't responding like it should. I told you, the repairs aren't finished! Griffith 1, just as we thought, the Great Bear isn't using the shot cannon. The SWBM has already been destroyed. Now's our chance. Finish it off. Conventional weapons to take the bastard down. What do you think? We should just sit here while we go down in flames? We just need to aim the shot cannon at the Southern Cross. I can't. The Glacier will be torn apart. Out of my way! Get your hands off me! We're gonna die anyway! What? That mammoth thing is turned completely upside down. They're going to fire the shot cannon? They plan to fire it like that? Crap! Dive now! Hurry! Watch out for the shot cannon! If you see it preparing to fire, fly to a lower altitude than the Great Bear. The Great Bear is finished! It can't be! The airborne fortress is...
The shot cannon has been destroyed! Engine 1, Engine 2, Engine 3! All engines are down! We can't maintain altitude! Did we do it? Did we stop the Gleipnir? I told them the Gleipnir wasn't ready for action! Damn base command! So, this is the end then. The Gleipnir. All our dreams for retribution.
The Gleipnir is no more. Shortly after our victory, ground forces successfully retook Santa Elva. The Santa Elva victory is fantastic news. But even more so, the defeat of the Gleipnir is sure to boost morale and give us a strategic advantage in this war. Next, we liberate the capital Griswold. We've already come this far, sir.
Unthinkable! The chatter of the nightly parties fell into silence. In place of the sumptuous banquet, weapons to protect the capital were rolled in. Griswold is in turmoil over the shocking news, but who would have thought that underneath the chaos lay an even greater story? Aurelia's exploitation of Leysath was all a ruse. In fact, Aurelia had been Leysath's largest benefactor in aid. The truth remained hidden from the public, while any aid meant for food was spent on arms. Why did this happen? Why was a lavish party held to boast the performance of their newest weapon? The trail of money surrounding Diego Navarro would lead me to the answer. Diego Navarro is not only Leysath's commanding officer, but also controls their arms industry. He has used continued conflict as a means to amass an enormous fortune. This war was conceived as a replacement for the Civil War to further increase arms sales. I can't help but wonder how much of this truth the soldiers risking their lives for Leysath really know. The classified documents contained much more than just information on the airborne fortress. The transfer of financial revenue and commodities were also recorded in great detail. What does all of this have to do with Leysath's commanding officer Diego Navarro? Even after all that's happened, why does he still seem so naturally at ease? I've unwittingly found myself fearing for the safety of the Southern Cross.
All right, let me brief you on the main locations on the route to Griswold. Sir, please choose a route. First, remnant enemy soldiers are regrouping at the Kalana Steps and are planning an attack on Santa Elva. They currently aren't a threat, but we're curious as to what they're planning. I guess we're not much different from them in size or strength. The enemy Special Forces Skilla unit has set up camp at Sachana Air Base. They're not a squad you want to take on directly, but they're currently busy preparing to send reinforcements to the Kalana Steps. This might be the perfect time to catch them off guard. It appears that Leysath forces are shipping supplies to a large-scale manufacturing plant in Montebriz. It seems that they're manufacturing something, but there is a large radar facility close by on Mount Nevera. The Nevera jammer is located there, and we're unable to monitor their movements. The jamming extends as far as Griswold, so we need to do something about it. Although we really need to find out what's going on at Montebrise as well. Our capital is not far ahead. However, Griswold is heavily fortified and protected by the Mezem cannon. Fierce resistance is expected, but we must pull together and take back Griswold.